Hey guys, it's Astra. Welcome to another video. Here's just a video I made basically showing like how I'd construct a terrain for like a swamp base if I was doing it in a super flat world. And then obviously the next video I'll make is obviously the actual base I'm going to build, but I thought I'd show you how I terrain when I don't use the natural terrain and I don't actually put it in a, well, typical seed or a typical biome. So I end up making like a mangrove island with basically a pathway running through it, a lake at the bottom, and a bunch of mango trees, obviously. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. So first we're going to start with how I make the terrain. As you can see, I'm just using TNT to blow up an area because I find that if I mine out an area, then it tends to look quite geometrical and quite unnatural. So I thought I'd first use TNT to blow up and then fill it in with mud because obviously that's the typical material of a swamp forest or mangrove forest or whatever it's called. Unfortunately, I forgot to make the world a bit deeper, so it's currently only 4 blocks deep. However, I found this ended up being very useful because I ended up making the lake part drop directly into the void because I thought it looked quite almost like magical and mystical, like you're walking over this place with basically like if you fall, you are gone forever. And I think this is also kind of because I was watching a lot of Pirates of the Caribbean recently. I was thinking like how if sailors fall into sea, they end up in Davy Jones' locker, lost forever. So I kind of thought I'd use that vibe. Anyway, so you'll see me filling it in here, and so I'll just give you a little time lapse of me making the foundations of this. Okay, so now you've kind of seen me build the foundation of this. There's currently a central mud island, which I ended up removing because I didn't like the look of it. But then I start growing mangrove trees in it, and essentially I'm trying to make the surrounding mangrove forest that surrounds the lake. Obviously, this starts off quite small before I extend it later on, but I find it's better to have a central, like basically make the central part of your build first and then do the landscaping around it, because I find otherwise if you do the landscaping first then you might end up changing your mind and wanting to move the landscape around. So I prefer just getting in the main bit and then deciding, oh, I want to add a bit of mud here, add trees in over there, maybe add an extra bit over there. So here's another time lapse of me finishing those trees off. Okay, so you're going to see it now jump to all the trees growing in because unfortunately I couldn't figure out how to grow mangroves. I forgot the spatial requirements, I forgot the water requirements, I forgot everything. So you're going to see a quick jump cut to that. I'm also probably going to jump cut again because as much as I think you'd like to watch a time lapse of me filling in the body of water, unfortunately I forgot how Minecraft water mechanics worked and I couldn't fill it in for the life of me. It took me so long. Don't ask how long I spend on Minecraft, it's probably not good for my work. Anyway, here's another time lapse of me finishing this off. Okay, so you kind of see I built in some grass islands. I end up expanding them and changing them a bunch because I was just not happy with the result and I like perfection, so I end up fiddling with around with them a lot. Basically, and then you see basically the lake is basically fully filled in here. I get it to where I want it, and I'll show you it from the top at the end. But basically, I like the way all the mangrove trees kind of dwarf this very small lake that drops directly onto the void because I didn't like having the mud so close to the islands. It kind of, to me, looked a bit odd. So basically I ended up expanding the islands and I had a bit more mud in. As you can see, the way I build is kind of like a continuous development process. I find it quite hard to just envision something in my head and then get it down on paper. I can't really do sketches either, so I kind of just build it and I kind of go, is this what I want? If it's not, I'm going to rebuild it. If it is, I'm keeping it. It's the way I am. Anyway, so I'll show you another little time lapse of when I end up basically filling in the areas around the original mangrove swamp, because as you can see the trees are quite sparse and I need to bulk them out a bit, otherwise it's going to look quite sad, and we don't like sad builds. They're not worth it. Always improve your build if you're feeling sad about it. Okay, so I'm sorry for the change in perspective. There was no real good angle I could get for it because of all the mangrove trees. It's quite an enclosed space, but here's what it ends up looking like from the top. As you can see, I've got these different sized mangrove trees surrounding these grass islands with mangrove wood slabs as like a path between all of them. And now I'm going to build around it because unfortunately, as much as I like it in this current format, I think that you end up needing to thicken the mangroves because, especially because we're not doing it in a mangrove forest itself, in terms of terrain, we're doing it in a super flat world. So basically, I think you end up needing to basically build around it, build a structure around it, put in some more mangrove trees, make it a little bit more natural, and then I might end up making it into an island because I think it would look good as an island. It's my build and I want it to be an island. It's the way I am. As you can see, I ended up making this a box because, yeah, the natural stuff was earlier and I was getting lazy and tired because work. So basically I end up doing like this and I'll see where I go from here, and well, you guys will see where I go from here. I already know, I've made the footage. So here's another quick time lapse of me making all the different parts. I end up adding something else on as well. Yes, hello again, it's me in my lovely British voice. Here's what it ends up looking like from the top after I basically fleshed out the mangrove forest, and I've added the fun little pool I've put at the end because I thought, why make it a square? There's not enough space for my house. Let me make a whole new thing, because why not? And then finally with this one I managed to figure out how to actually flood it properly without having an absolute nightmare about it. Basically it looks like this in the beginning, and then I end up having some mangroves around it, but not too many because I kind of wanted to be like, here is a beautiful vista where you can look out on the surrounding nothingness, because ideally a base would actually be in a biome and not in a super flat world. I was just done with dealing with mobs and everything else that comes with a normal world, as well as the limiting on creativity, so I thought super flat world it is. And now I am just going to basically show you me fleshing out the rest of the little island at the bottom, and that's it, and that will be the end of the video, and then you'll see a little fun run through. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the time lapse, and see you guys at the end. Anyway, good for you, now you've reached the end of the video. As you can see, I solve a lot of my terraforming problems with TNT because I'm lazy, and if I want an island and the world is 4 blocks deep, there's a very easy way to get to it. Anyway, here you see me panning over the entire thing. I've added some more mangrove trees in. I quite like the fact that you can kind of have the mud sloping onto grass. It kind of shows that it was put in there, and also because I am too lazy to change it. I might change it in the next video, I just have run out of time, and well, I can't. It's too much for me. I want to get to the base part, the fun part, not the boring part of terraforming. And now you see a quite little walkthrough. I ended up putting mangrove trees on one of the islands because I thought maybe put a crafting bench and stuff under it, because then you can do farming on the islands and have your composter there. And then I'm going to do a massive base just through here on the big massive lake that I made, part 2, because how many lakes can I make? Many. You can also see I quite like the vines, but I'll probably end up trimming them back because there's just way too many of them. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Astra out.